All right, guys, welcome back to Beautiful Mind. Today we're going to be discussing GAN monthly counts and percentage levels, and this is a sequel to a tutorial I did over a year ago. This is my nice hash site now, and it doesn't have the 12 years populated data. It only goes back 4 years, so disclaimer is put aside there. However, I have recorded all the previous bottoms and percentage levels for the last 12 years and the counts from those tops and bottoms, from the top, sorry, to find the bottoms from all these past tops. So I've just populated them on from this top here and this top here, and we're going to count out forward, and we're just going to see how well this count has continued forward with our percentage levels here, and take a look at that. As you know, I'm Roland Attenborough. If you're new here, I'm the leading GAN scientific and analytical reporting researcher. I have products and workshops devoted to all original GAN material where I teach you how to forecast like the pros and better. So let's just dive right in. Thank you to all my subscribers and all my viewers. If you're new here, subscribe and sign up to our workshops. We'll be talking about those later on. Let's just dive right in. Okay, so going back, I'm just going to show you, this is my homework and this is what I do. So I made this a year ago, May 2nd, 2022, and it discusses the moves up in 2011, and it was a 3-month move. Okay, it was really fast, and they average about 19,000 on this one, or 19, sorry, 100%. To note also, the price of this asset came down a whopping 93% in 5 months, and over 11 months was 91%. And after 20 months before the breakout, it was down 82%. And so we're looking at these 12 and 14 months from these tops. That's what we're looking for. After we've reached these high tops, after 3 and so months, or whatever the percentage level is, right now it's decreasing as we go through and look at each campaign, as you're going to see. So we're going to bring it right up, and we're going to talk to you about our previous tops right here, which is our current tops. So let's just take a look at this. So Mr. Gann said to look at all these things, catalog them, and to measure them against your current campaign. So this is our first bear market campaign from our first top in 2011. Okay, so go back and look at your charts. Go back and look at my tutorial, something it's over a year ago about this subject. Anyways, this is a sequel to it. Our second maneuver was in 2013. We had again 3 months fast move up. The average is about 1,800%, and we went down. The first 3 months was 79%, and over the period 72% over the 6 months. And so we just kind of we watch these periods moving forward now. So, but they stretched out. So again, now moving to our third campaign here, we're just going to take a quick look at that. So our third campaign here was 2013, and again we had 3 months fast move up, and we only went up 1,361% in that one, so it was not as big as our previous campaigns at 1,800 and 1,900%. So we're just watching this diminishing returns. However, so our pullbacks were 84% in 14 months, and in 20 months later, we were back 70% before our last buying low, and it took off again. And it averaged about 82% anyways. So we need to watch these areas in these months. So there again, we're going to carry forward. So let's go again. Let's take a look at our fourth and then our fifth campaign, and then we're going to make a comparison. Here we go. Okay, so this is our fourth campaign here. And on that, we went up 1,800%. But this one went up and it took 7 months to move up. So it elongated and it was only 1,800%. Now, our other one was 18 and 1,900% and 1,300%. So we were watching all these. So the move downs now were averaging 83% and 80%. And these were taking place in 12 and 13 months. And we're going to watch this with our counts. And then again, we had our COVID bottom, which kicked in. That was our evil pullback. We had 27 months. So we're going to watch that. And it was 81% back on that March 20. That was a really significant bottom. And that obviously equates to this bottom right here. So from here, we're going to take all these percentage levels and these time dates, and now we're going to cast them forward as we're going to do in our present April top here and our November top. And this is what we're talking about, our April and November tops here. So from there, we had a 1,600 and a 1,700% move up here. I'm not sure if you can see that. Well, where is that here? Sorry, I didn't move it up. Sorry. Here we go. Here we go. We're talking about our April and our November top here. That's the ones we're talking about right here. So they went up an average of 16 and 1,700% from their bottom here. All right, which is very much the same. So it indicated a top. So from there, we had an average move down of just 55 and 52%. And this took place in our 15, and we also did 22 months. I didn't do the 22 months up higher, but anyways, this 20 and 22 months is an area we need to watch too for a breakaway. So we do that later on. Anyways, we'll move forward with that. So our first and secondary bottoms came in at that amount. Our third bottom, where you can see I made this forecast and I have all these, that's right, I have all of these question marks beside them saying, hey, are these going to be our next? Because we weren't there yet. I didn't know that these were actually going to work out exactly the way it is. So moving forward, excuse me, we will take a look at these in really great detail. And this is why you're going to be subscribing and signing up to my workshops. You're going to be able to know exactly how to do all this. I'm going to teach you this in my workshop. That boot camp is an 8-hour process. We'll talk about that later. So from there, our moves down, we were looking for 12, 13, 14, and 15 months. We're also looking for 20 and 27 months from our first top. Our second top here, which is this one, we're going to be looking for 12, 13, 14, and 15 months, 20, 22, and 27 months. Let's go have a look at them. So our average pullback here, which we came down, we've already done 19,000. We've already touched 19,000 twice. The average for these moves that we should be coming back, we haven't done it quite yet, is 82%. 88%. We haven't seen this pull back to 8,000 yet, but we've come close. We've had 15, what did we say, 15,000 there. And of course, 15,000 is our current market low. It's 77%. So that's our current low. So from there, we could expect a possible pullback to 8,000. We're going to talk about all these things later on and whatnot, but 15,000 will certainly be revisited, most likely. If we don't break above this purple line, we're going to talk about all this moving forward here. So in our forecast from our first top, we were stating that we should be looking for a bottom around our April, May, June, and July 2022. This is our 12, 13, 14, and 15 month sequence, right? And I hand wrote this out a year ago or over a year ago. Anyways, forecasting the bottoms. This is how it's done. Anyways, let's just move forward. So from this first top, we're looking for our April, May, June, and July. All right. So we're going to look for these. We're going to look for these bottoms here. So 1 year later, in April. Here we go. See? Right in here. April, May, June, right? July. Okay. Right on, right? Okay. Then from there, we're going to go to our next one. We're going to be our 20 and our 22 months. And that is these ones right here. We would be looking for a bottom around December 2022, okay, and February 2023. So around December 2022, we have a bit of a higher bottom right here. It's just right on time. And then our February, right, 2023, right back here. Right here, guys. That's right. Okay, so our next one in that sequence is July 2023, and that's our 27 months. So let's just go take a look at that because it's really important that we discuss that. And also, this February is usually the 20 and 22 months in between where we have a really fast move up. And as you can see, we certainly did. After this period was met, this February 2023, right here, we had a really big fast move up right up to right now, our current overhead resistance, which I was talking about, not to buy Bitcoin unless it gets above this level. We'll talk about all this later. Okay, moving ahead. So we've covered our 20 and 27. Our 27 month is this July period right here where we have this. That's right. Here's this channel period here. Next, what are we looking at for a pullback in an area where we can see some moves? And notice this July is 1 month from our August pullback, which is an anniversary from our August pullback. And again, back here our August top and then our pullback. So watch these cycles. Anyways, let's move forward. Now from our second top, let's go take a look at our sequence again. Remember 12, 13, 14, and 15 right here. 12, 13, 14, 15 months. So that represents a bottom coming in November 22, December 22, January 2023, and February. Let's just go take a look at this sequence. This is how you forecast forward and find the bottoms. This is how I'm doing it. You can do this too. All right, so we're talking about our first sequence, which is our November sequence. This 12, 13, 14, and 15. Okay, November right here, right on time. It's a 1 year anniversary from here. Mr. Gann talks about this in his books and courses. I discuss everything about Mr. Gann in all his courses and books. I own all of them. Okay, so from here, this is our first forecast bottom in November. That's right. We just nailed that. That's right. Let's just keep it together here. December, holding that one together. Then we talked about our December to our January period where we had this massive breakout, and then our February bottom, which is our next part of our sequence. Here we go into our higher bottom in our January, our breakout to a higher bottom in February. Okay, so let's just move ahead with our sequence. Where can we expect our next bottoms to come in? Look at this. Well, our next sequence is this 20, 22, and 27 months. This is what we're talking about here. Okay, so this is this July period, and it's the same as this other one from our first top. So this July period right in here, before we have this fall off in, that's right, August right here, which is, again, same as our last August, right? Same as our last August, we have this fall off. Okay. So moving forward, we have the next sequence from our July 2023 would be September 2023, when I expect we will have a bottom come in. Will this be a higher bottom? Will we be able to get above this angle moving down and sit on this? This is our next. We have to get above this. If we break these 25 and this, particularly this angle here, this white angle coming from this bottom. It's our zero angle from 15,000. If we lose this, you know, it's not good. We're this September 2022. It's just that's one of our counts. So if we lose this area, it's possible we can have a bottom and then another rush up to this angle here. If we were not to get over this angle and this yellow here, and not be able to push up against this, that would mean extreme weakness, and my forecast would be intact for our February 2024 bottom, just before Bitcoin halving event here. So I would expect 15,000 in February. Is that what's going to happen? It's possible and likely. In the last halving events like these ones here, usually a month or 2 months before or after an event, a bottom is made in Bitcoin, and we never come back and revisit these areas. Are we going to retouch 8,000 on our square? It's possible. However, it's more likely that 15,000 is where we will be returning to. 13,000 is our next block down. We would be holding around this area, around our 13,000, if we were to break through. This is our current top right now at 31,000. Unless we can get above that, my forecast right now is over. My yearly forecast was calling for an April top and somewhere around this July too. If we go take a quick look at my forecast, which we're going to do right now, which is what you will be taught how to do and how to make in your workshop coming up in November. So let's take a look at it. We already have members showing up for that. We have researchers that are wishing to learn all these things. So let's go find our forecast. Here we go. So forecast. We have our 10-year cycle. We have our 10 or 20-year. We also have our 30-year. In these, here is April. We're making tops around these and pulling back. Which one are we looking most likely to be doing? Well, this is the 40-year. Okay, so April is over here. We've had our top as high as out as, just July, and then in August we had this pullback. So 40 years looking pretty close too. Our 50 years just went straight down. It was probably our worst one. It was 694 days down. Our 60-year cycle, which Gann talks about significantly, we have an April top and this pullback into this area and subsequent a move back up. Well, are we going to see that? Well, it says here that in early November, the very early part of November, late October would be a top. And this is the cycle that's looking probably the most significant. We'd have a pullback around the 19th of November, and then a subsequent bull market would resume. And that would subside. Next June, we would have this big significant top. It's possible. This is just what happened to stocks 60 years ago. That's probably our biggest cycle. Let's go take a look at the other ones. That's how we work here. So the 70-year cycle, well, we had our top this year, so this cycle is not happening, or 1953. We did have a top in the 80 and 90. If you look back at my previous how to make yearly forecasts, we talk about this 80 and 90-year cycle, which is repeating. We have these April tops here, but we continue to move up and sideways to our tops here. So this is pretty close. So are we going to have a bottom around this October and a move up into this November and whatnot? So looks like it's probably a pullback. So these 80 and 90-year, these are some big cycles. They're kind of playing out. Our 100-year cycle is kind of playing out too. We can never disregard the 100-year cycle. It made a top here, March 7th to 20th. So it's well within our realm. And we have That's right. My forecast calls for an October bottom or a breakout or a top, and looks like we might have that too. So 110-year cycle. 110-year cycle made an early top and moved down to June. We haven't really seen that. Had a top in middle or 13th of September. We could have a pull up and a top around the 5th to, we could have a capitulation top and a rollover. So it's possible. September, let's take a look at the 120-year cycle. Moved up into February and just had a consistent move down to the end of the year to November, where it would have had a pull back up, most likely. So we'll watch that cycle. That one's plain. That's a 120-year cycle, a double our 60-year cycle, which we were talking about right here. So let's just be careful. Let's go take a look at our odd cycles. That's right. That's how we do it around here. Here is our 130-year cycle. Bottom down in this. Well, looks like we could be running down and running up into November. So it's possible this 130-year cycle can play out. However, if we break these bottoms, then this cycle is invalid. So let's go take a look at our 5-year, our 7-year, and our 15-year cycle. This is how you make these. So looks like we moved up. We had our tops in our April period. Here's April. So our 5-year is looking pretty good right now, and a pullback into our July and August. We had an August top and a pullback, so looks like we could have a major pull up and a breakout around our October area, where we would have a top in our November area and then a subsequent pullback, which is perfectly in line with what my thinking is about our cycles. Let's go have a look at the 7-year cycle right now. This one here is the 7-year cycle. We're going to go take a look at this. So here again, we made a top here in our April, May, and our June period. We had this pullback into this July, and in August, we had our bottom, and then we had a subsequent bull rally up into our new year, which again is running perfectly with our cycle, which we think is possible and likely. Here, let's go take a look at our 15-year cycle. This is 2008 Bitcoin. What did it do? Let's go take a look at it. Well, we had a high in April. We did move down and have our last top in August, which we've done, and then a subsequent major move down to the middle of October. And from there, then we had a subsequent rally, a lower top, which moved up into the December period, and then a fall away into our new year, where our perceived Bitcoin halving event is going to occur for us. So, and you know I'm a bad news bears. February, I'm calling for a bottom. Is that going to happen? Probably, most likely, it's going to happen. A lot of our things that we've been talking about over this last 15 months on my channel has in fact happened exactly as Mr. Gann would have portrayed it to happen, because I use all his forecasting materials and I'm the leading scientific researcher of those things. So you can sign up to my courses and learn how to do all these things. If Bitcoin is to lose this 25,000 area here, which is this yellow line, we've been talking about this for months. I've been beating you guys up about this 25,000. It's so important. This area is critically important. We need to hold on to this. We could have a move back to 19, and we could, of course, have a reverse rally around this November area. No problem. We could have a pullback to 19,000 in November, and then we could rocket back up. If we were to have a reaction here and not get above this level, then we would be moving down in a rapid recession, and that's just it. And if we weren't to hold on here, it could be 13 and then down to 8,000, which we've talked about and talking about on the square. We could eventually move back to that. But for now, 15 we're going to be returning to. It's possible we come to our 13 because we've topped out at 31. So I'd expect that we could retest that. That could be an area here where we come down and it scares the crap out of everybody that we're not going to recover. So it's possible. All right. That would be a great buying area too. All right. So I've given you some price levels. This square of nine, of course, is attuned to Bitcoin. And I teach everything about Bitcoin, its cycles, all the stuff. If you want to learn about how to buy Bitcoin, also I'll be putting out some other things in the next year. Look for in 2024, I'll be putting out a Bitcoin mining community where we will get together and I will be assigning each researcher their own GPU, and I will control a mining pool where everyone will get to mine Bitcoin, and it will be your property, and you'll be able to take it anytime you want. So look forward to that in the new year where you can mine with us. We'll be doing it on NiceHash, which is the site that you're watching right now. I mine all my Bitcoin on there, and I trust that site. It's a trusted site, and they haven't had any trouble, so I trust them. So look forward to that. So if you want to sign up to my courses, it's starting to fill up now. You can take a look at my website. It's Daboff Enterprises. It's a proud parent company of our YouTube channel, Beautiful Mind, where we discuss Mr. Gann in great detail. As you can see, here you can purchase forecasting products and attend my presentation and workshops. These are really good tools, and this is my new product here. This is our forecasting. Nobody in the world is presenting Mr. Gann, his work, and the square of nine in the great detail and explaining to you all the esoteric properties of this instrument. I discuss every single thing. I bring you up to speed. And when you leave there, you'll be able to do everything I do. You'll be able to make your own YouTube channel and do the exact same thing as me. In the afternoon, we're going to talk about time cycles and original documents. And you're in the afternoon going to be making, that's right, you're going to be making forecasts for Bitcoin. Exactly correct under my instruction. And these will be for 2024 and 2025. So they'll be extremely useful for you. All right. It's $1,200 and it's going to be in Kelowna. They have terrific food there. I'm not joking. Their food is the best. I honestly should be 500 pounds, honestly. They have such great food. But anyways, that's my website, and I want you guys to just pay attention to the things that I've been talking about. I know that there's a lot of you out there that are paying attention to the things that I'm saying, and just be mindful. Don't buy Bitcoin unless it breaks above this 31.8. You know, we're in this channel, and if we break below this, it could be a whole bunch of Humpty Dumpty. It could be back to this 19,000 we've been discussing, right? It could just come and sit back down here in this November. This wouldn't surprise me the least bit, nor would it surprise me in October or September. Just wouldn't surprise me the least bit. So let's pay attention, because if this becomes overhead support, look out below. If we make it up to here and we suffer resistance, again, we'll be coming back to these areas. We could just suffer another terrific move back until we can ascertain whether or not Bitcoin has made itself, again, the asset that is the apex predator on the market right now. It's the most successful thing. It's the most successful thing. It's probably it's the most successful thing I've ever seen. It's most expensive. It's more it's more expensive than diamonds. All right, so peace and love, and safe trading. Use your stop losses. All right, thank you for being with us today. Peace and love.